Excellencies, we are running behind schedule. May I request you all to please take your seats. Dear colleagues, welcome back. I hope you had a wonderful rest and a good breakfast this morning. Before we move with the adoption of our agenda, I would like to inform you of the outcomes of the third meeting of the Bureau. This morning, we were due to start with the examination of the 3 cultural properties located in Europe and North America region that were open for discussion yesterday. However, due to some ongoing consultations, the Bureau this morning recommended that we examine these 3 reports while resuming the plenary this afternoon. Therefore, we will start now with the continuation of the examination of the state of conservation of the natural properties located in Africa and Asia-Pacific regions. In case we finish these reports in the morning, we will directly move on to item 7B on the state of conservation of World Heritage properties in the order indicated in the calendar circulated by the Secretariat yesterday evening. Furthermore, as already informed in the Bureau, following a request by the distinguished delegation of Vietnam, the Bureau recommends that all draft decisions for cultural properties located in the Asia-Pacific region, which are not open for discussion, be adopted as soon as we open Agenda 7B. If you all agree, we will proceed this way. I see no objections. I also wish to recall that the Budget Working Group will start tomorrow from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. in the Bureau meeting room. Thank you very much. Dear committee members, dear colleagues, I hope you had a pleasant evening. We are now going to resume agenda item 7A on the state of conservation reports of the properties inscribed on the list of World Heritage in danger. I would now like to give the floor to the delegation of Rwanda to present to the committee the reason it requested to open the state of conservation of Nyokolo Koba National Park, Senegal. The distinguished representative of Rwanda, you have the floor, sir. Rwanda, you have the floor. Can you please start? Go to the next. Senegal, you have the floor.
Yes, Chair, thank you. I think there is a misunderstanding because we received an agenda this morning that shows that for Nyokolo Koba it's for this afternoon. Maybe, I guess for that reason, Rwanda is not in place. So I think that needs to be
Thank you, Senegal, that you have said the Secretariat shared with you an agenda in which they put Nyokolo in the afternoon. I will give the floor to the Director of the World Heritage Center to respond to you. Mr. Lazar, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chairperson. I think this morning at the Bureau, the chairperson informed the Bureau that due to some ongoing consultations, because we were supposed to start this morning with the examination of the 3 cultural properties located in Europe and North America region. And then the chair this morning informed the Bureau that due to some ongoing consultations, he proposed to the Bureau to have the examination of those properties when we resume the plenary in the afternoon. And the Bureau, of course, agreed with his proposal. And the chair also informed the Bureau that we will start this morning with the continuation of the examination of the state of conservation of natural properties located in the Africa and the Asia Pacific regions. And I think, and the Bureau agreed, and that's the reason why the chairperson just informed the committee member of the deliberations that was taken during the Bureau this morning. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. The distinguished representative of Senegal, as you know, that the chairperson is informed by the Secretariat of the consultations that's going on, and then we inform the Bureau. So the chairperson was informed that there are consultations going on, and the Bureau agreed. It's a Bureau decision. But because Rwanda is not in a position to present as of now, either we can stall this and go to the next agenda item and efforts be made by Rwanda to appear as soon as possible. Is that acceptable? All right, thank you. I now invite the Director of the World Heritage Center, Mr. Lazare Ilendo Osomo, to read the list of the natural properties inscribed on the list of World Heritage in Danger located in the Africa region, for which the reports are proposed for adoption without discussion. Mr. Lazare, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. The following properties located in the African regions are proposed for adoption without discussion. Manuvo Gunda St. Floris National Park, Central African Republic. Mount Nimba Strict Nature Reserve, Côte d'Ivoire and Guinea. The general decision on the World Heritage properties in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The Garamba National Park in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Kauzi Biega National Park, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Okapi Wildlife Reserve, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Virunga National Park, Democratic Republic of the Congo, Rainforest of the Atinanana, Madagascar, Aïr and Ténéré Natural Reserves, Niger, and Selous Game Reserve, United Republic of Tanzania. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. If there is no objection from the committee on these state of conservation reports, I declare the decisions read out adopted. I would now like to ask whether any observer delegations would like to express themselves about one of the properties for which we have adopted the decision without discussion. I see none. Okay. Now, observers requesting the floor on item 7A belonging to non-state parties, the International Indigenous Peoples Forum on World Heritage. You are given the floor. I repeat, the International Indigenous Peoples Forum on World Heritage. You are given the floor. If you would like to take the floor for 2 minutes, you have the floor.
She's not here, Lazar?
All right, they are not here. They have not taken the floor as yet, in spite of reminding 2 times. So there are no more requests for comments or taking the floor. Let's proceed then. I now invite Mr. Lazar Ilendo Osomo, Director of the World Heritage Center, to read the list of the properties of the Asia-Pacific region for which the reports are proposed for adoption without discussion. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. The following 2 properties for which the reports are proposed for adoption without discussion are Tropical Rainforest Heritage of Sumatra, Indonesia, and East Renel, Solomon Islands. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. If there is no objection from the committee on this state of conservation report, I declare the decisions read out adopted. I would now like to ask whether any observer delegation would like to express themselves about the property for which we have adopted the decision without discussion. I see no observer state parties wanting to take the floor. I see none. Let's proceed then. Rwanda, are you ready to take the floor on Nyokolo?
Not yet, Mr.
All right.
President.
All right.
Yeah.
This is because
7A is not to be closed, and we will give Rwanda a chance later. Till that time, to save time and for better time management, we will be opening 7B now. Dear colleagues, we are now opening item 7B of our agenda. As for item 7A, we will first discuss the reports concerning cultural properties, followed by mixed and natural properties. The regions will be represented in the same regional order as for the item 7A, subject to the request to move the Asia-Pacific region report earlier because of a request made by Vietnam, which we all agreed to. First, we are taking the report of the Asia Pacific region. I now invite Mr. Lazar Ilando Osomo to read the list of the cultural properties inscribed on the World Heritage List located in the Asia Pacific region for which the reports are proposed for adoption without discussion. Mr. Director, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairperson. The following properties, the following cultural properties located in the Asia Pacific region for which the reports are proposed for adoption without discussion are Angkor, Cambodia; Kakatiya Rujeshwara Ramappa Temple, Telangana, India; Gusuku site. You want to pronounce
It's
it better?
Telangana.
Telangana. I hope I pronounced well. Gusuku site and related properties of the Kingdom of Ryukyu, Japan; Vatpu and associated ancient settlements within the Champasak cultural landscape, Lao People's Democratic Republic; Kathmandu Valley, Nepal; archaeological ruins at Mohenjo-daro, Pakistan; historical monuments at Makli, Tata, Pakistan; royal tombs of the Joseon Dynasty, Republic of Korea; old town of Gale and its fortifications, Sri Lanka; Itchan Kala, Uzbekistan; and central sector of the imperial citadel of Thăng Long, Hanoi, Vietnam. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. If there is no objection from the Committee on the State of Conservation report, I declare the decisions read out as adopted. I would now like to ask whether any observer delegation would like to express themselves about one of the properties for which we have adopted the decision without discussion. Pakistan, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to express my gratitude to the committee and Secretariat for the support and technical assistance in conservation of archaeology ruins at Mohenjo-daro and historical monuments at Makli, Tata. Conservation of World Heritage properties is an undertaking that Pakistan has assumed earnestly. The adopted decision, therefore, will be implemented effectively in close coordination with our provincial and local authorities. Apart from the stipulated reporting, we have maintained avenues of continuous engagement with the World Heritage Center. We will continue with the same spirit to finalize the technical proposal of preservation project of Mohenjo-daro. As mentioned in the submitted reports, cultural and national heritage sites anywhere are at risk from the devastating impacts of natural disasters and climate change. The 2022 floods dented our conservation efforts at Mohenjo-daro and Makli, thereby highlighting the urgent need for enhancing monitoring of the impact of climate change on such heritage sites. We must also ensure that culture is fully integrated into climate action, strategies and policies to protect our living and non-living heritage. Lastly, we look forward to continue working closely with the World Heritage Center, the committee and the advisory bodies. I thank you.
Thank you. Any other observer state party would like to take the floor? Please raise your name plate. I see none. Let's proceed then. It's okay, Rwanda, you can have 5 more minutes, no problem. No need to rush. I'll carry on with some more items and then give you the floor later. Okay. Now we are going to take, in the following order, Europe and North America, Latin America and the Caribbean, Africa, Arab states, and then the natural and mixed properties for the Asia and Pacific regions. For the first property, historic centers of Berat and Gjirokastra, Albania, I would like to give the floor to the delegation of Lebanon to present to the committee the reason it requested to open the state of conservation of the historic centers of Berat and Gjirokastra in Albania. The distinguished representative of Lebanon, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chair. Dear Chairperson, distinguished delegates, the cultural property of historic center of Berat and Gjirokastra, Albania, have faced several challenges last few years, and among them the bypass road project of Gjirokastra, originally designed to solve underground infrastructure issue. What has retained our attention is the long and complex journey of this project. Submitted first in 2016, the project has benefited of a first technical review from ICOMOS, recommending a substantial revision. After its cancellation announcement in 2019, a second submittal in 2021 by the state party couldn't be evaluated by the World Heritage Center since documents wasn't presented in the official languages. And World Heritage, in its last decision, 44COM 7B1151, requested the SP to halt the project until the findings of the reactive monitoring missions could be shared. The recommendation of the reactive monitoring mission conducted in December 2021 were positive for the revised design, despite the large implementation, more than 50% of the construction work. However, the mission pointed on the potential visual and negative impacts on the OUV and recommended the implementation of an HIA to identify possible mitigation measures. The committee, in its last decision, 45COM 7B51 in Riyadh, requested again for integrated HIA, but after total completion of works, and to include the bypass in a mobility plan. The question we are raising here is for ICOMOS. Since the operation guidelines have integrated the necessity of performing HIA studies, para 110 and 100 bis, to prevent and mitigate potential impact on OUV, we notice that the state party of Albania, and most probably many others, is in urgent need of capacity building in the field of HIA. How could have been possible to prevent the implementation of such project in absence of an HIA? Where are the gaps? Language, funding resources, lack of technical expertise, and why to investigate for impact after the total implementation of a project? This could be understood as a precedent to be followed by others. Our objective is not to look for responsibilities in this dossier, but to raise the voice on such growing practices for many properties on the list, allowing the implementation of major projects within properties and buffer zone boundaries without HIA. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I now invite Ms. Berta de San Cristobal, Chief of the Europe and North America Unit of the World Heritage Center, and ICOMOS to provide their comments. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chairperson. Good morning to everyone. The analysis by the World Heritage Center and the advisory bodies, as included in their report on the state of conservation of this property, emphasizes the importance of a renewed sense of urgency and increased commitment by the state party and the local authorities to ensure that an adequate system of protection and management of the property is in place. Hence, the proposal contained in the draft decision before the committee to continue with a one-year reporting cycle rather than moving to a two-year cycle. The committee has been highlighting the urgent need for an integrated management plan for this serial property since 2017. A request for international assistance from the World Heritage Fund was approved in 2018. This provided funding as well as technical support from ICOMOS and ICROM to assist the national and local authorities together in developing the integrated management plan. A World Heritage Center ICOMOS-ICROM reactive monitoring mission visited the property in 2021 and reported that the completion of the integrated management plan was a matter of urgency. Despite the initial commitment and considerable subsequent work put into the preparation of this plan, the state party has not finalized it. The World Heritage Center considered it essential that the process of updating the draft integrated management plan is resumed on the basis of the recommendations already made by the advisory bodies within the framework of the international assistance from the World Heritage Fund and with the active participation of the local and regional authorities. At its last session, so the first following the reactive monitoring mission, the committee requested the state party to fully implement the recommendations of the mission. With your permission, Mr. Chairperson, my colleague from ICOMOS will comment further aspects that relate more specifically to Lebanon's concerns, namely the construction of the Girocastra bypass road, which has now been completed without a heritage impact assessment having been submitted to the center, the incorporation of heritage impact assessment as a legal requirement for development projects and directly into the provisions of the regulations of both Berat and Girocastra, and the conduct of a heritage impact assessment of the cumulative impacts of the development framework called Project for Integrated Urban and Tourism Development. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. Members of the committee. The issue of HIAs is, of course, tied closely to the management plan and development. And ICOMOS has, since 2016, through several technical reviews, provided guidance to the state party, as has already been noted, specifically on the Girocastra bypass road project. As also has been noted, the reactive monitoring mission, which visited the property in 2021, reported that by then approximately 50% of the groundwork for the road had been completed and concluded that the project had an impact and a potential impact on the OUV of the property. And that is why it recommended an independent impact assessment. As a matter of urgency, I should add, as stated, the bypass road is now complete, and unfortunately, such an HIA has not been undertaken. The state party in its latest report does indicate its intention to undertake the HIA, however. At this point, I would like to stress that retrospective HIAs should not be the norm, and this case should not be seen as creating any form of precedent. But this is tied in with other aspects because the mission also reported on the aforementioned Project for Integrated and Urban Tourism Development and recommended that HIAs should be a legal prerequisite for development projects and directly linked to the provisions of the regulations for both Berat and Girocastra. Importantly, the mission also recommended that an impact assessment of the cumulative impacts of the so-called PUITD project and other development projects and its settings should be conducted. So our concern is about more than just the road. The state party reports that it's requested the urgent submission of individual HIAs for the PUITD project, but the cumulative impacts are our concern. When it comes to the interaction, the interface between the PUITD project and the road project, the concern is how the road facilitates, for instance, the tourification of Girocastra and might lead to abandonment of homes due to over-tourism in the property. And therefore, we hope that the mitigation measures coming out of an HAA might address access, vehicular access, tourism, over-tourism, etc. With that, I'm just going to state that we believe that with a view to the urgent conservation needs of the property, a broad mobilization is required to preserve its OUV. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. I would like to know whether there are any comments. No. I see none. Let's proceed then. I now invite you to adopt the draft decision 46-7B.2 concerning this property, but before doing so, I would like to ask the rapporteur if he has received any amendments.
Merci, Monsieur le Président. Bonjour et bonjour à toutes et à tous. Nous n'avons pas reçu d'amendement concernant ce point.
Thank you. Are there any comments? I see none. I therefore declare decision 46-7B.2 adopted. Thank you very much. I would now like to ask whether any observer delegation would like to express themselves about this property. I see none. Let's proceed then. We are going to suspend the meeting for 10 minutes for some technical reasons, and we will reconvene after 10 minutes to give the technicians the time to resolve this issue. This meeting is adjourned for 10 minutes.
the distinguished delegates that the side events, although we are facing some logistical problems and technical problems in this room, the side events will take place as planned in the same room, that is starting from 1 p.m. So no change for the side events. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lazar. The technical problems need some time to resolve. So I've been advised that we can suspend the meeting till 3 p.m. and give you an extended lunch break. This meeting is suspended till 3 p.m.